for 7 seasons on the north side, and after stops in Oakland and with the White Sox, he became a Giant. Now he returns as a Giant to the place where it all started. Jeff Samardzija takes on his former team. Final game of the series, Giants-Cubs, next. Day baseball here in Chicago as we get ready to wrap up this road trip and wrap up this 4-game series. It's the Giants and the Cubs, and welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Jeremy Affel. Well, the Giants will win today, and they split this 4-game series with the Cubs. They also would go home 4-3 on this road trip, and that would be a good trip. And Jeremy, we watched Jeff Samardzija in St. Louis, and he was fabulous. Maybe the best stuff we've ever seen him had. He didn't get a win, but I think we're expecting the same thing out of him.
Yeah, fastball command, great. Breaking balls, great. Both sides of the plate with his movement, great. Everything was awesome in St. Louis, and I think that if you have a guy that can come out and do that again today, the Giants have that Samardzija on the mound, there's a really good chance that they get on this flight 4-3, which for a road trip against the 2 teams that they've had to face and the quality of baseball clubs they are, that's all you can ask coming in into San Francisco for Memorial Day weekend. All right, should be fun here at Wrigley Field this afternoon, and then the Giants go home. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
DC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
All right, back here at Wrigley Field on a cool, brisk, sunny afternoon. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily, and that's all going to start Friday, May 26th. Temperature 65 degrees, winds out of the north, humidity 76%, and it is overcast. Here's Bruce Bochy's lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll go like this. It'll be Span, Panic, and then Brandon Belt. A good last 10 games for Belt. Posey, Crawford, Ruggiano. Mac Williamson gets a start in left field. Then Christian Arroyo 8th and Jeff Samardzija 9th.
Eddie Butler on the mound for the Cubs. Some of you may remember him from Colorado. They just flat out gave up on him. Just got called up from the minor leagues earlier this month. You're going to see a power sinker about 94 miles an hour, a good hard curveball, and a cutter that he's going to throw. He's going to throw a sinker majority of the time. Command problems from what you could see on his numbers there. A lot of walks already in his short stint up here. So the hitters need to work the count a little bit on this guy.
Span in conversation with Miguel Montero. So here we go as Span steps in. This game is going to wrap up this Giants road trip that started out in St. Louis. So here's Span, and the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a called strike. Oh, and 1 to Span. Span out of play, so he started on time right at 1:20. Span 1 for 5. His only hit last night was a home run. Overall hitting .255. His home run last night was his 3rd, and he's got 9 runs batted. And the wind is blowing either from left to right or in, depending on how you look at it. Driven down the right field line. That's extra bases. Hayward's going to dig it out, and once he does, Span will go into second base with a leadoff double. 95-mile-an-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
Cubs defense for Butler this afternoon from left to right. Schwarber, Happ, Hayward from third to first is Bryant, Baez, not Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo, and Montero already throwing down the wrong sign.
Yeah, well, he's 0 for 1. You're right. So here's Panic. Panic still ticked off from last night as he steps in. 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts. Trying to get Span over to third or get him in. And he takes outside for a ball. He's 2 for 9 lifetime against Eddie Butler, and one of those 2 hits a double. Butler trying to stay away, and he's doing that just so you don't make it easy for Panic to roll one over to the right side. By the way, we just got to note that that's the first time this year Denard Span has a hit on an 0-2 pitch. So for those of you keeping track of those things at home, check the box. 3-0. So Butler's put himself in a spot now where Panic's probably going to take 3-0. Infield pretty much straight up. And Butler deals, and there's a strike right down Broadway. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Las Diaz calling balls and strikes. Doug Eddings at first, Corey Blazer at second, and the crew chief Jeff Nelson is at third. Giants still mad at Jeff Nelson. 3 balls and 1 strike. Drive to right. Hayward's going to go back, and Span is going to tag. Here's Hayward's throw. It is just a bit offline. Panic a good at bat. Span to third.
Good productive out. I kind of felt like that ball might have, it was hit hard enough yesterday. I think that might have left the ballpark. You're looking at the flags, and it is blowing hard left to right. I think it knocked it down more than it should have.
He hit this ball pretty good.
Good. Looks like a changeup that he kind of threw down the way, and got good wood on it.
Cubs are going to overshift with the infield in. Belt fouls it back and out of play.
Joe kind of ran out of there pretty hard, thinking the same thing. Kind of had a little bit of a wanted to look away, and he was kind of looking around like, what just happened?
Yeah. Belt 2 for 3 last night. Giants trying to take advantage of this RBI opportunity here in the first. And now Belt's behind 0-2. Couple of fastballs in to Brandon Belt. Butler now can go for the strikeout. Cubs won 5-4. They won 4-1 on Tuesday. Giants won the opener 6-4. Here's the pitch to Belt, and Belt takes low, 1-2, blocked by Montero.
The report on Butler shows him throwing a lot of fastballs in these counts. He threw him a changeup right there, looked like in the dirt. But these hitters going up there, if they have any kind of understanding of what he's trying to do to them, they're probably thinking he throws that changeup in the dirt there. I'm looking heater. Belt, yeah, definitely looking heater right here. It's like they're going to double up on a changeup, but.
Belt drives it into right center field. That's going to be a base hit, and it's going to roll and roll all the way to the ivy, and Belt is going to drop anchor at second, and the Giants lead 1-0.
Well, I'm kind of excited he was looking fastball, like I said right there, and ran into the changeup, Kite.
Did he throw him the changeup?
He did. He doubled up with it. He's probably looking fastball. I mean changeup. Crushed it. I probably should stop trying to be a hitter's brain.
No, you got to keep. No. No, I figured if you threw him a changeup, you wanted to get him out with a fastball. So here's Buster Posey. And Buster takes inside for a ball. Belt can get as big a lead as he wants. Zobrist and Baez are totally ignoring him at second base.
Watch out, those size 16s, you're going to get the third.
Well, now Baez is moving over a little bit. Posey hits a high towering pop up to left field. Schwarber broke back, but now it's going to be Baez who's going to put it away.
Span scoring that run. The Cubs have now allowed 47 first inning runs. They're tied with San Diego for the most in MLB.
Wow.
Strike early on these guys.
Cubs giving it up in the first, but Giants like to score more than one. They like to put a crooked number up. Crawford last night went 1 for 4. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. With this ballpark, you can play a little small, depending on how the outfielders and where they play. It's going to be a tough call for Phil Nevin to send Belt as the pitch is low. It's 2-0. Hayward's got a very strong arm in right field. So give Belt an RBI. That's his 21st. Crawford in the driver's seat, 2-0. And he did not come at him with that 93.
Yeah, he seems to be really wanting to work changeups to our left-handed hitters. Hasn't really worked except for that one. But see, Montero has a game plan. These Giants lefties.
Crawford hammers one to right, and right there is Hayward, and that's going to end the inning. So Crawford hit it right on the nose. Giants on the board. Samardzija coming out. And it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Zobrist and then Kyle Schwarber. And yeah, he hit a long home run on Tuesday, followed by Brian Rizzo and then Ian Happ. Jason Hayward will hit in the 6th slot, Montero Baez, and then the pitcher Eddie Butler.
Jeff, the Sharks Samardzija on the mound. Getaway day for the Giants. Overall, pretty good numbers. I think that ERA was probably inflated for the first month of the season. His last 5 starts, he's had a mid-2. His 71 strikeouts is top 5 in the National League, and you got 10 walks, 0 walks in his last 132 hitters. Pretty awesome. Fastball, slider, cutter is going to be the majority of his pitches. He has a really good curveball that I think against a team like the Cubs he's going to want to utilize. When he throws it right, it's pretty unhittable. Giants are looking for the St. Louis repeat start today.
In his last 4 starts, starting with the Dodgers on May 3rd this month, no walks, 11 strikeouts. Mets, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Reds, no walks, 8 strikeouts. And a strike to Zobrist. And his last start, the Cardinals, no walks, 8 strikeouts. That's pretty impressive, I got to tell you.
Man, and it's because of doing what he did just there, throwing first pitch strikes to these hitters.
It absolutely helps.
See those April-May splits.
Swing! Ain't gonna miss. Nothing in 2. Zobrist hitting .252. Did not get into the game in the Cubs win last night. Breaks his bat, belt to Samardzija. Not a problem.
Giants defense this afternoon from left to right. Williamson, Nunez is out. Span, Ruggiano in right. Third to first, Arroyo, Crawford, Panic, and Belt. The Shark on the mound. Posey catching.
So here's Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber hitting .186, 7 home runs. He's got 19 driven in. And Samardzija's first pitch is high. With Brian on deck, 1-0 Giants. Bottom of the 1st. Getaway day for the Giants here on this Thursday afternoon. 2 balls and no strikes. Cubs are 13-11 at home. Played 9 games against the National League West, and they're 5-4. Bouncing ball foul. First base side. 2 balls and 1 strike. Las Diaz doing some extra work. Another sellout crowd here at Wrigley. I mean, that's something that you would expect. Overshift is on for Schwarber. Fouled again. Hey, we got a catcher down the right field line. A bit. And a happy customer. What would we do without cell phones?
Polaroid.
Here's the 2-2. Got him. First strikeout.
I got my wife a Polaroid camera last year.
Yeah.
It's like they're actually they have stuff now where you take the picture and print it, and it's got like almost like a sticker on the back, and you can like stick it to boards and stuff. You know, like
can't do that with a cell phone.
No.
Bryant hitting .293. He's got a little bit of ownage on Samardzija. He's 4 for 8. High and deep to left, and gone. And just like that, this game is tied.
Mac was kind of looking back like someone stuck their hand over and caught it, but I don't know if you can stick your hand that far over to catch it in the net, can you?
I don't know what anybody could possibly do with that basket.
This pitch here is, man, that fastball was 96 and 3 inches inside. Good piece of hitting by Bryant. Obviously looking in there. Here's this fan that kind of reaches over,
and that's why the basket's there.
Yeah, there's no way you can even call fan interference for that.
Rizzo takes a strike.
See right here where Bryant kind of, or Macklin goes up and the fan catches. That's pretty close to being even over the net part of it. Might have an argument. Man.
No, I don't think.
Look where that kid's gloves at.
I don't think anybody had enough time to actually take a look at that.
Yeah.
This is hit out to Ruggiano. And that'll end the inning. Cubs tie it up. It's 1-1.
at your Bay Area Mercedes-Benz dealers.
A 1-1 ball game here in the second inning. Ruggiano's going to lead things off, then Williamson, and then Arroyo. Three guys that started out in Sacramento. All three are hitting here in the second. Down low. Butler gave up 2 doubles in the first inning. And this is a bullet right at Bryant, so he's not fooling anybody.
Yeah, he's definitely leaving that fastball. He's got a really good sinker, and it kind of bottoms out right there. That actually might have been a curveball even right there, but he's definitely covering the middle of the plate with his off-speed pitches. They're not getting good wood on those.
Here's Mac Williamson coming off a great at bat in the 9th inning last night. See if he can carry on over into today. Down the left field line and foul. Didn't sound great. See if his lumber's okay.
Here's the homer. It's what we're looking at. You can see that this glove is over the net, but like you were saying, Kipe, if it's really something you want to look at, Mac almost has to make a little bit more of an issue to kind of slow the game down. But I'll tell you what, right there, it looks like, I just don't think the guys underneath had a chance to look at it. But man,
they didn't have enough time. So here's Williamson with new lumber. Foul back, still in the swing mode. And he falls behind 0-2. Montero asking for a high fastball, and well, Mac Williamson just got a piece of it.
well, Mac's approach is the same.
It is. He's in the swing mode.
And it's
does not want Montero to catch the ball. Got him.
oh man, that's athletic right there.
Way to move.
Cat-like reflexes.
Here's Christian Arroyo. Arroyo took an 0 for 4 yesterday, had an RBI, and he takes down low. As Bochy said today before the game that he just likes the way Christian Arroyo is handling this little slump that he's in. There's a foul out of play. And not in the lineup until Nunez and the Giants training staff decided that Nunez needed to sit this one out. Sharply to second, and Zobrist will make the play, and that'll end the inning. Samardzija coming back out. Our McDonald's true stories on this date in 2013. Angel Pagan, a walk-off inside the park home run to beat the Rockies. Come on. And here's where the Flan Man celebrated more than Angel Pagan did, actually.
Yeah.
That was quite an exciting afternoon. That's our McDonald's true stories. All these things just seemed like it happened a couple of years ago. It was 2013. Here's Ian Happ. Happ, a rook, hitting .294, takes a strike. Happ started last night, went 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And the big right-hander for the Giants throws, and there's a swing and a miss, a little tardy, and it's now 0-2. How happy is this guy?
Hot dogs. Get your hot dogs.
I'm with you.
Like
Leave
bread.
the bun behind.
I think he's not. I think that's the thing. He's actually taking down the bun and leaving the hot dog.
He's eating it in sections is what he's doing. He is happy as can be. Good for him. 1-2. Foul back. Samardzija working the outside corner.
Oh, there it is. He's now
right into the
there.
middle.
He is. There's no wrong way to eat a hot dog.
No. You can go right to the other end if you want. You got a little meat sticking out the bottom. Here's the 1-2 to Happ. Out of play. Just take your time, young man. It's going to be anywhere from a 2.5 hour to a 3-hour game.
High chance that that hot dog ends up on the shirt. It's going to fall on the shirt. Ketchup's. Oh, that was a good one right there.
Got him. We're talking about Tim Flannery. I don't think we saw Flan move this good in a long time, and haven't seen him move that good since then. Look at him.
Oh, cleats and all, and we're talking metals right there, metal cleats. He told me he was going to slide into home plate. He never did it. That was a perfect opportunity to slide into home plate after the hitter did it.
I think.
Sell the sizzle.
I think
Flan.
he peaked right there, don't you?
Yeah.
Here's Hayward. Hayward pops this one up. This is not going to be an easy play. And Crawford's like, whew.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Arroyo was there. 2 outs.
The only thing that would have made that better is if Crawford would have laid down to block the sun. He's like sunball, sunball. I mean, Crawford is 18 feet from Arroyo, and he's like laying down out there.
Yeah. Here's Miguel Montero.
Well, Crawford can't have everything. He played second the other night.
I know.
He played the outfield in St. Louis.
Let somebody else catch a pop-up or two. Montero takes a strike. I want to go back to the kid with the hot dog. I want to see how he's doing.
It's got to be ketchup on the shirt by now.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting a little smaller. In tight. 1 ball and 1 strike.
There's ketchup on the shirt. Is that ketchup on the shirt? Right. Oh,
no,
it's coming off the hot. Oh, there it is. Ketchup on the shirt. Oh, what timing.
That's the best. It really isn't a hot dog unless you have ketchup on the shirt. I agree with you. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here it is in slow motion. Doink.
Oh.
What's great about kids that age, you think they care about that?
You know, no.
They're not doing the laundry.
That's right. The dad, I don't even know. Look at the dad's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Throw in some water when we get home.
3 balls and 1 strike. That's why Mom asks us to get bleach at the grocery store. Oh. Yeah, that hot dog was good. Crawford again. And it's going to be Arroyo again. And they got that play down pat. And Brad Crawford saying, whoo. All right, little guy. Togo's big play the Togo's way. July 30th, 2003, during batting practice, through the window on Sheffield Avenue. Bonds did it in batting practice. That's our Togo's big play. Our brother Glenn was on that trip, and he went out there and knocked on the door of the people that lived in there and said, hey, look, I'm with, at that time, probably Comcast. And I'd like to do a show. He stood in the windowsill and did a hit from there. And the people were kind enough to let him in. It was great.
That's a long way.
Building's still there.
I bet the window is shatterproof now. The replacement.
Well,
window.
yeah. I mean, they got a guy here that can do it, and that's Schwarber. Here's Samardzija, 1 for 19 on the year. Rolls this one to third for Bryant. And Bryant will throw him out. And that'll bring up Span. Span opened up the game with a double. Eventually scored on a belt double. Giants hit 4 line drives in that first inning. 2 went for doubles and 2 were caught. Span shows bunt and he takes it down low.
Rizzo was flat-footed on that bunt. I'm thinking as far back as they're playing, if he could drag bunt, that might be a.
Yeah, get it past the pitcher. Lines into center field. And diving and catching is Happ. 2 down.
See what, old Butler's probably needing to thank his outfielders here for this inning, man. He's saving. They're saving him a lot. Seems like we're hitting the balls right on the screws. Just seems to be right where their outfielders either get to it or where they're standing.
Keep swinging it. Here's Panic. That's 4 line drives that have been caught in this game. Panic lined out to right field in the first. Here he takes a strike. Giants go home. The Cubs go to Los Angeles to play the Dodgers. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Cubs do the LA San Diego trip. Panic skies went into left center field, but Happ is there and he's going to put it away, and that'll end the inning. It remains 1-1.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by California's Great America. New for 2017. Red, White, and Brews, a hometown celebration of Americana food and fun. Select May 27th through 29th and June 3rd through 4th.
We have reached the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's a 1-1 ball game. And for the Cubs, it'll be Baez, Butler, and then Zobrist. Baez overall at 268, 7 home runs. He's got 22 runs batted in underneath his hands, and it's 0-2. That is a really nasty pitch right there.
That has
some margin.
Late movement.
Yep.
See it from up here. The ball looked like it was outer half and just darted right in under his hands.
Outside.
Here's that pitch we were talking. Look at the movement on that ball. That just started inner half and rolled about 8 inches in.
Hit on the ground to Belt. Belt to Samardzija, and they got him.
It's wide receiver speed he pulled out right there.
A couple of pretty good athletes on that play, tall ones too. And Samardzija just maybe a little late jump off the mound, but he does have catch-up speed. So here's Butler. Butler on the year is 0 for 1. And a strike, and it's 0-1. You're going to miss. On deck is Ben Zobrist. Outside to Eddie Butler. Giants will come back to play the White Sox here in Chicago, assuming the weather will be a little different then. And Butler waves at a pitch. Talked about Samardzija running like a wide receiver.
There it is, right there. Oh, he told the guy to try to get to him. Trash talking. I wonder if that would go over well if he caught the ball and was run up the line. He just looked at the hitter and was like, "Come on, come on."
Hitters do it. I mean, we got bad flips.
Yeah, true.
Zobrist rolled out to Belt. Here he takes a backdoor breaking ball for a ball. Good pitch. 95 on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Samardzija about to throw pitch number 35. Out of play. 1-2. See where Buster Posey sets up. He's asking for this pitch down and away. And this is slashed into left field, a base hit. I think he threw it where Buster wanted it, and Zobrist just a nice at bat.
His fastball is right. Good little pitch. Looked like it was a cutter. He might have wanted a little further outside, but you can't really always pinpoint that cutter. It moves how it moves, and it just was enough to where he could flip it out there. This is not an easy team to pitch to. Sometimes singles are just that. 2 outs, give up a single, get the next guy, limit the damage.
Here's Schwarber, who takes, I guess, high. Schwarber struck out in the first. All right, let's see where this is at.
A little high.
A little high. A little high it is. And a strike to even the count.
Fine, we'll give credit to Laz. He made a good call.
Way to go, Laz. Zobrist not a threat to steal. You're going to miss. 1-2.
I think he was trying to break a window on that last swing.
I think he was aiming for the bleachers. I agree with you.
That's a big man swinging hard.
See if Buster decides to go up top again. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Sometimes Buster will do that. He actually didn't put a sign down the entire time and just stared at Schwarber almost to say, I'm going to make you call timeout right here. He plays head games with the hitter too a little bit. Messes with the timing of the hitter, doesn't allow him to get too comfortable.
So that last pitch was 96, right in on the hands. Two and two. Bryant to follow.
See how he just keeps his hand there the whole time. He looks at Doug. He doesn't even put a sign down. He just sits there and he just looks at it. And then he called a fastball in last second, but he waits sometimes a really long time just to see. And tell you what, it's almost like Buster's pitching out there too. He's trying to speed guys up, slow them way down, take the time. I'll call a fastball in if you don't want to step out, but I'm going to try to delay this as long as possible. And oh, how the strike zones change from guy to guy.
Yep.
I'm not trying to stir up anything.
Well, I mean, that may have been where the pitch to panic was last night. I am kind of over it. 3 and 2. On the move will be Zobrist. Got him, and that'll end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Samardzija. Belt, Posey, Crawford coming up.
From the Capitol is in playing the Giants Monday through Wednesday. Monday is a 1:05 start. Tuesday and Wednesday are both 7:15 starts. Tickets available at sfgiants.com.
Here's Belt. Belt lines this one, and another line drive.
Wow.
So that'll bring up Buster Posey.
I wonder if he's got a 4-leaf clover in his back pocket.
Oh, my goodness.
Man. I don't think we've hit a ball on the ground yet. Have we?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah.
Arroyo and Samardzija. Here's Buster, and it's low and away. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, before those guys, the Giants haven't hit a ball on the ground yet. Line drives and fly balls.
2-0 to Buster Posey. Buster trying to get on for Crawford, and there's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's Crawford. 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 4th inning. Butler with 40 pitches. Swinging a foul. 3-2. Both teams scored in the first. Mr. Posey asked for time. Here's the payoff. Fouled out of play. Good rip. Monday, the wind was blowing out, and then after that, pretty much the next 3 games, the wind was blowing in. And the walk, he threw him an off-speed pitch. Giants Insider Podcast is back on NBCSportsBayArea.com, and it's brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as insider Alex Pavlovich talks baseball with players, coaches, and special guests, and more. Crawford lined out to right field in the first. And he takes this one down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Butler with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. He struck out Mac Williamson in the second. Swing and a miss to even the count. Braves will be in town tomorrow night. That'll be in San Francisco. And then the Nationals. Crawford shoots one to right. It's going to fall.
Maybe that's what they have to do. They should hit broken bat line drive so it doesn't get to him.
You know what? One way isn't working. Try to move on. Here's Ruggiano.
Hear that? That's just the sound of firewood being made.
So Ruggiano steps up. For the Giants, that's their 3rd hit. Ruggiano lined out. He lined out to Bryant. Takes inside for a ball. 1-0. Mac Williamson is on deck. There's Big Mac. Popped up. It'll be Baez who makes the catch. So 2 outs, and here's Mac Williamson. Kept waiting for the infield fly rule, and I'm sure somebody called it, but even at that, the wind makes these pop-ups an adventure here today at Wrigley. Sun and wind, bad combination. That's the way it was at Candlestick. So Williamson a chance to give the Giants the lead here in the fourth. And a foul. It's no balls and 1 strike. Butler rubbing up the baseball. Posey at second, Crawford at first. Buster goes, and he's going to steal it. It's a double steal.
I think that caught Montero off guard too. He's not really that slow. He's usually about a 1.4, 1.5 at second base when guys are at second, and they just kind of took off. And I don't even think Montero was all that ready to throw. It was a ball in the dirt away, but man, that was sneaky.
First steal for both Buster Posey and Brandon Crawford, and now a foul makes it 1-2.
Heads up by Nevin, and the Giants are, a lot of times you're gonna see if a pitcher's not paying attention to you, you get that extra lead. And Buster, he's 11 for 15.
Yep.
So that's actually pretty good numbers for Buster. You can tell he pays attention to the pitcher and how he's paying attention to him, being able to steal 4 to 5 bags going to third base.
2-2. There's Arroyo. On the ground to short. Baez. And that'll end the inning. Giants strand a pair. It remains 1-1.
Impressive 12 pitch at bat against Davis. See him fouling off a lot of pitches, fouled off every pitch, even fouled off a really good curveball to stay alive, eventually hitting the homer off of Wade Davis, winning the at bat. Good curveball right there. Finally got him. We got to hear a Kuiper homer call.
A basket. A basket. Bryant homered in the first inning. That's how the Cubs got their run. So we'll see if Samardzija goes after Bryant a little differently. And he starts him off with a breaking ball, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Onage. Bryant now 5 for 9 against Jeff Samardzija. Rizzo. Happ. Samardzija with 4 strikeouts. This was the home run. Check out the location. Jeremy and I were really surprised that Bryant could sit on that and hit it.
Yeah, if you saw the tracker on that too, that ball ended up 3-4 inches off the plate in. He pulled his hands in, and fan might have helped him out, but still a homer.
Hit on the ground to Panic. So Bryant retired. And here's Rizzo.
But I would say that for Samardzija, he's throwing the ball so well. That's probably the hard. I mean, it's a hard hit ball. Obviously, that's probably really the only hard hit ball he's really given up today so far.
Rizzo hit a fly ball to right. He taps it foul. No balls and 1 strike. And just a bit off the plate, not by much. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ian Happ on deck. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Pulled foul.
A lot of that weak contact comes from being with that first pitch strike to Rizzo, and he's now 10 of 13. And some people wonder why is the first pitch strike that big of a deal? But you put a hitter in an 0-1 count, anything can be thrown at him now, and he can't just start looking for certain pitches. And he starts the at bat from immediately a defensive position, which takes away their aggressiveness, and you'll get swings like you got right there on Rizzo. He's just right now he's kind of guessing. He's not committed to one certain pitch, and he's just trying to stay alive. And when you can get ahead as much as Samardzija's gotten ahead today, you're going to get a lot of those defensive swings.
How many cleanup guys do you see with 2 strikes choke up 3 inches? I mean, seriously, I mean, it actually looks odd.
You're right. Votto, maybe?
Votto? Yeah. Very high.
That's hazard pay for me. Window, that's hazard pay. I'm not feeling comfortable at all.
Yeah, a little bit hanging buckets from your pockets, and I mean, come on. My goodness.
I mean, you would think someone by now would have come up with like a self-cleaning system for windows up that high.
Yeah, like use a drone.
Yeah.
Hit to right. I mean, I don't want to get anybody out of a job, but a drone thing doesn't look too bad. Well, join us at the ballpark. Giants take on the Nationals on Memorial Day. You're going to receive a Giants cooler bag presented by PG&E, so get there early. Tickets are available at sfgiants.com. See former Giants pitcher Barry Zito, longtime supporter of our military and their families. He'll take part in a pregame ceremony, so check it out. Here's Happ.
I actually kind of like that cooler bag.
Yeah, I know. We'll get a couple of those. We'll have Maria Jacinto make sure they fill it up. Happ struck out in the 2nd. Have you And look, I've traveled a few more years around this circuit than you have, but you've traveled a lot. Have you been in your hotel room when a window cleaner is popped down and you're wondering, now what is that noise? And then all of a sudden you see somebody in your window.
Yeah, and it's a thump, thump, thump when they're. I mean, they're.
It is.
It wakes you up if you're asleep. I don't even know why they've done it that early, but man, but it is awkward when you open up your curtains and the guy's like right there in your face.
It's like, geez, I thought I put the "Do Not Disturb" sign, but do I need to put it on the window? 2-1 to Happ. 2-2 to Happ. 1-1 ball game here in the fourth. Got him. And Happ goes down again. Yep. Yeah.
Is presented by the authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
1-1 ball game as Christian Arroyo stands in. And he looks at a strike. Arroyo rolled out to the second baseman Zobrist. Up the middle and speared by Butler.
Pretty good piece of hit. I actually thought he hit the ball somewhat hard. I think it happens to be a pitcher in the way of that ball in the middle.
Thought he hit the ball pretty hard in the second. Keep swinging the kid. Here's Samardzija, who rolled out to third. Span on deck. We're in the top of the fifth inning. One ball and one strike. And a base hit down the left field line. Samardzija is going to cruise into second base with a double. Butler's shocked that somebody wasn't there to catch it.
It's a little curveball. Ran right into his barrel. It stayed in the air just long enough for someone to catch it. He thought Bryant was going to jump up and snag it. Go gadget arms over there.
Span is doubled and he's lined out to center field. One ball and no strikes. Next pitch for Butler will be number 60. And this is going to squirt away, and Samardzija is going to jock into third. So that'll be a wild pitch.
This is where, if you're Denard Span, the productive out is big here. If that's if you can do anything, if you're not going to get a hit, I need to put the ball in play, get it into the outfield, and let him tag. He's got enough speed. He's going to be able to tag up and score.
Belt did it in the first inning. So it's 2-0. 3-0. Dunsing, the lefty, is in the bullpen, we're being told. And we were being told correctly. And the walk. So here's Panic.
They have a short leash on him for some reason. His last start was 3 innings, and it didn't look like it was a crazy game for him.
Well, he's gotten quick outs. I mean, look, the Giants have hit line drives in first pitch, second pitch. So that's why his pitch count number isn't very high. Giants fan, StubHub is your ticket to a once-in-a-lifetime experiences, from Giants games to amazing concerts. StubHub, your ticket out. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Giants.
Well, Madden, I think the Cubs have all seen what we've seen, and it's a lot of hard outs,
sure,
line drives, and he's not tricking anybody. If he's living in a tree, let him live there as long as he can. But when he starts falling out, it could end up being a pretty rough gig on him. So they're probably not going to give him too much more.
And here's a guy that's hit the ball hard twice, and that's Joe Panic. And he takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Panic is lined out to right, then hit a ball very hard in the left center field that was tracked down by Happ. Any one of those would score a run here in the 5th. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Span's getting the lead like he's thinking about it, but in this situation, you better make it.
Yeah.
One ball and 1 strike. And Span had a lean. Be careful. Pitch number 65 on the afternoon for Eddie Butler. Out of play. It's now 1-2. Samardzija at third, and Span is aboard at first. Two and two.
It's a really hard pitch for guys like him to make because he's such a power sinker guy. To ask him to throw a ball up, a lot of times they're so focused on getting the ball down that they end up pushing that ball up and away. It's almost like a non-purpose pitch. The hitter couldn't even try to swing at that. So for Montero to be asking him to throw that is actually, you're asking for trouble, because if he doesn't throw it that high in the air and he center cuts it, it's going to be belt high.
Ooh. They may look at this. So the umpires are going to take a look at it. And this replay review is presented by Xfinity.
You know, he probably would have been safe if he would have made the throw that he was supposed to make, but he threw it up the line, and Rizzo had enough length to be almost like the throw went right into the runner, and the glove kind of looked like it almost got him. If not, it might have got him. That right there, it doesn't look good for the Giants. It's got to be definitive though to reverse it though, right? It's got to be like a.
Yes. Well, if this is reversed, it's kind of like what has happened all afternoon to the Giants.
Yep.
All right. The replay's been shown on the board here, and Cubs fans obviously think that Rizzo got the tag on before Span got back. But I mean, the longer it takes by those folks in New York, the more you feel like maybe you still have a chance to avoid what we think is a call that's going to be reversed. Got him.
He just kind of threw it. See how he threw it right up on his leg, and Denard had to go. It's like he went around the bag, so he really tried to avoid it, and it ended up costing him. Just puts a little bit more pressure. Obviously now I'm panicked, and now it can't be a productive out. Now it's got to be a knock.
Out of play.
Almost similar to the 5th inning on Tuesday. Nunez was caught trying to steal second with a man on third as well. It's definitely been a situation that the Giants are probably wanting to avoid these close games.
2 balls, 2 strikes. So panic in a battle with Butler, with Samardzija standing at third. There's 2 outs. And this should end the inning. And it does. Giants shoot themselves in the foot. It remains 1-1.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. Enjoy some ice-cold liquid Aloha tonight by the Craftsman of Commerce at Pitney Bowes, helping U.S. online retailers expand globally. And by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
Here in Chicago, it's a 1-1 ball game. Samardzija will go after Hayward, Montero, and Baez. That's quite a good number of Giants fans in the city of Chicago. These last 4 days, we've seen him walking around town. There's Hayward. Hayward popped out to Christian Arroyo. Here he takes a strike. Pitch count wise for Jeff Samardzija, he's at 61 here in the 5th inning. Two balls and a strike. Montero on deck. Deep to right and gone. And Hayward with a solo home run, and it's 2-1. It's his 5th of the year.
It's like a fastball just up out over the plate. He just turned on it. I mean, it's kind of been the theme really for Giants pitchers and Cubs hitters. The way they're scoring is on the long ball. Really not a lot of mistakes that Samardzija's made today, except for 2 when they both left the ballpark. And the one was actually a good pitch.
Montero takes inside for a ball. 1-0.
That might have been one of the few mistakes he's made today.
Montero popped out. One ball and one strike. Baez is on deck. Just a little bit off the plate. Hayward's home run yesterday was very similar.
AT&T, it might be a single.
Yeah. Hit on the ground and a base hit. Montero with a single to right, and that'll bring up Baez. Baez is 0 for 1 as he bounced out, and he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. 4 hits for the Giants, 4 hits for the Cubs.
This conversation here is nothing more than just, hey, I'm seeing a little bit difference in your delivery. You may be kind of getting out your delivery a little bit, possibly making sure that the home run didn't affect him. and say, hey, we still are with. This is a plenty good game here. Just stay back to what you've been doing and pound the zone and try to get these guys to hit grounders. He's throwing the ball great.
It's a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Butler's on deck. Next pitch for Samardzija will be number 70. In tight.
I've always thought that catchers, if they go to college, I wonder if they move up to the big leagues quicker if they were a pretty good catcher but a really good sports psychologist. If they took like a degree to be a sports psychologist, because they're kind of like the head doctor out there anyway, calming everybody down, encouraging you.
Hold on the ground foul. It's 2-2. Yeah, it means a lot to have a guy that knows what to say and when to say it and how to say it.
Buster never really said a lot to me. He usually just went up with his foot and pointed to where the ball hit, letting me know I need to get it further.
2-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to Crawford. Crawford will go to Panic. Panic will go to Belt. So that'll calm things down for a bit as Baez bounces out into a double play.
Pitcher's best friend. The old double play ball. Baez, that's about the speed he runs around the bases too when he hits a homer, getting off the field after he gets out. He's kind of got one speed. Jogs.
Yeah, the pitch is made right before he gets into the dugout. Butler with a swing and a miss. 2 outs, a run in on the home run by Hayward. Right there, 1-2. Top of the order, Zobrist to follow. Way outside. Hit on the ground to Belt. Belt will take it himself, and that'll end the inning. Middle of the order coming up for the Giants. It'll be Belt to lead things off. It's 2-1. The first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Giants car flag presented by CarMax. Reminder, special 7 to 5 start on Saturday. Tickets available at sfgiants.com. 2-1 Cubs. When it's time for a change, saying Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Well, Mike Montgomery, 0 homers allowed in this ballpark. That's a feat in and of itself. His walks to strikeout, though, when I see that many walks already in 27 innings pitched, he must be pitching out of a lot of jams to have those numbers and have that many walks. That's just it's a high amount of walks. I've seen it several times now. It seems like the relievers are coming in with a lot of walks under their belts.
And he's facing a guy that walks a lot, so this is a matchup. High again, 2-0. Belt is 1 for 5 lifetime against Montgomery, and in the game he's 1 for 2. He's doubled and he's hit a line drive to the second baseman, and it's 3-0. Buster Posey on deck. At the knees. Out of play. 3-2. Montgomery. There's that Brandon Belt with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It on the ground, and it'll be Bryant. Throws him out.
Smart Play is brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Last night, Buster Posey did the famous underhand toss to first base to get Albert Amora. Really his only play there with that kind of speed is to kind of dive and chuck. So far this year, that's my all-time favorite.
I think
throw
I was
to first
there when you mentioned it to him last night. Buster takes a strike. So drew a walk in the 4th. Drives this one, and guess what? It's going to be caught. Two outs, and here's Ruggiano.
That's going to really frustrate an offense. Hopefully Crawford hits it out of the home run of the ballpark.
Frustrating Buster.
Hey, so just for all the smarty Marty guys when they're doing their little scorebook, did Belt hit into a 5-3 even though he hit the second base?
That's correct. That's what I'm saying. The shift in all the shifts that we've seen, usually you can go back on your scorecard and you can, if you wanted to explain the game to someone just by looking at your scorecard, a 5-3 would mean a ground ball to third, and you would obviously visually feel like ball was hit near third base, throw to first. But with the shifts, a 5-3 doesn't always mean now that it's a ground ball to third.
No.
It's a ground ball to the third baseman who's playing on the right side of second base. So somehow you have to change how you keep score to remind you that Bryant was on the right side of second base.
Might be another book scenario for Amy G.
Amy G.
Smarty Marty's got game with the shifts.
There you go.
hey mate, if you're listening, I get a percentage of that.
1-2
my idea.
to Crawford. Crawford flips this one to Rizzo, and that's going to end the inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up, 2-1 Chicago.
On NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Jack in the Box, come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by AAA. Get a free Giants welcome mat. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details.
2-1 Cubs. Here's the pitch to Zobrist, and he takes a curveball for a strike. Zobrist singled in the 3rd. He has 1 of the 4 hits. 2 of the 4 hits have left the park. In tight. Schwarber to follow. Ruggiano back. Gone. And another solo home run. And it's 3-1.
It's the ball that he got up into the wind. I think that, I don't know if that was actually, that was probably more wind aided, but it was a ball up and in. He got it up there and push that ball out of the ballpark.
So here's Schwarber. Schwarber struck out twice. And he takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The 2nd home run in the series for Zobrist.
3rd in his last 4 games.
Tap foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. fouled off the shin guard of Las Diaz. It's now 2-2. Or maybe they got Buster. One or the other. It certainly didn't feel good. Buster Posey's caught all 4 games in this series. Old foul. Bryant to follow. Samardzija with no walks, and he's got 5 strikeouts. He's got 6 strikeouts, and he's got Schwarber for the 3rd time.
The old hat trick. Started him out in, and they slowed him down with breaking balls over the middle of the plate, and you get guys looking for that breaking ball down and in, and then you throw that good hard fastball that just gets up enough and out of the zone where he has to swing at it. When he's thinking in and down, he'll swing and miss at that a lot. Pretty good approach they had. It was all down and in or up and away, and it's kind of been what they've done to him all game, I think.
And a bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rizzo on deck. That foul. 1-2. Well, if the Giants are going to win this one, they have to come back. 3 solo home runs for the Cubs here this afternoon. Giants have hit the ball all over the ballpark, and they've got nothing to show for it. Ryan is out swinging. This was the home run that tied the game in the 1st inning. See the location of the pitch. It wasn't even a strike. So here's Rizzo. Rizzo has flied out twice to right field. And that's loud and foul, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
That down and in location is pretty dangerous to a guy like Rizzo. He stands right on the plate, taking away the outside corner. That becomes the middle of the plate now, and he baits you to come in because he wants to turn and burn on. You can see right there, he did the same thing. He just kind of kept it fair, but he wants that ball coming into him. Kind of keeps his hands in front of his body a little bit, and he just keeps his swing really short.
So it'll be Happ.
This ball, see how that ball becomes middle right there? The ball becomes right down the middle to a guy like Rizzo when you throw a ball to a guy that stands on the plate. He also knows you can't throw it off the plate because the umpire doesn't adjust his strike zone. So he covers a lot of plate right there, and you really got to try to almost kind of keep it in on his hands, tying him up.
Here's Ian Happ, who struck out twice. At second base is Rizzo. And that pitch is in tight. just off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Samardzija still throwing hard as Oakland is starting to get loose. It's a 95 pitches now for Samardzija. Two and two. Fastball away to Happ. Samardzija takes a look at Rizzo. And that pitch is high, so he goes 3 and 2. Remember, he hasn't walked anybody today. Here's the payoff. And the walk.
Close take. Laz felt that ball must have been above the belt. First walk in who knows what, 154 straight hitters without walking a guy. That's his first walk. And it actually wasn't even a wild walk. That was just a professional walk by a big league hitter, and he threw it over the plate. He was just up.
And I don't believe it was up by much.
No. 3-2, you're almost thinking you got to foul that out. It's too close to take, but it just shows you how good the stuff that Jeff has. I mean, even if it's up there, hitters can't figure out what to do with that ball. It's coming on them too quick, and that's an area where you want to throw a guy like Rizzo with his hands being low like that. I always kind of took it as when a guy's hands are low, he cannot get to that up and in pitch because he can't get the barrel. They're looking to drop their hands.
Here's Hayward. Hayward homered in the 5th. So Dave Righetti back into the Giants dugout. Belt or Posey? It's going to have to be Belt, and that's going to end the inning. Zobrist hits the home run. It's 3-1 Chicago. Samardzija's been pretty good. He's given up 3 solo home runs. He finally issued a walk in May. Eddie Butler scattered 4 hits in about 8 line drives, and Belt is 1 for 3 with an RBI double. So Montgomery is about to face Ruggiano, then Williamson, and then Arroyo. So we got 3 right-handed hitters coming up. See if they could get something going here in the 7th inning. Ruggiano lined out, and he's popped out, and here he rolls this one to third, and Ruggiano's retired.
We'll get ready on weekdays for the happy hour with Greg Papa, Ray Ratto, and Kelly Johnson as they bring you the happy hour on NBC Sports Bay Area and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Also available, you can listen live and as a podcast, also on NBCSportsBayArea.com.
Here's Mac Williamson.
I think it's the happy hour, but with Ray in there, I think it's more like the melancholy. He kind of brings it down. He's grumpy.
Could be the grumpy hour. Could be 2/3 happy hour, 1/3 grumpy hour. So it's 0-2 to Mac Williamson. And the beauty of Ray is he would not disagree with us.
No.
Outside, 1-2. On the ground to short. 2 outs. And here's Arroyo. Arroyo almost snuck one up the middle past Eddie Butler, but Butler speared it and threw him out in his last at bat. No balls and 1 strike.
Oh, that, I don't even know how Morse avoided that ball. That ball went right.
I didn't see it. I was looking down.
I mean, it
almost got him.
Oh man, right by him. It was fast too. It was. See on the right side, you see Moore's foul ball, and it is right across. I mean, right behind his numbers, right there. And he's still standing in the same exact spot.
In the dirt.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm going out there with catcher's gear.
The hitless streak for Christian Arroyo is now 0 for 18. So he's trying to break that right here in the 7th. And this is going to be a fair ball, and that's going to end the inning. 3 ground balls. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. It remains 3-1. 3-1. Cubs leading.
MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, and you can all that and see all that by visiting MLB.TV for details.
So here's Samardzija to face Montero. And then Baez. And then we'll see. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. That was pitch number 100 for the Shark. Hey, way out in front, and not leaving the count. Swing. You're going to miss. 1 and 2. Panic out in shallow right field, but no overshift. It's this ball the other way, foul. Skips right up into the seats down the left field line. One ball, 2 strikes.
There was a period of time 10 years ago, went up to about 5 years ago. I think that 100 pitch mark was just a big deal for a lot of teams. 100 pitches, get the starter out of there. I think as you've seen the game progress the last few years, it's not the 100 pitches. The 100 pitches for me is a situation where when I see a starter that is as big and as strong as a guy like Samardzija or a guy like Bum or these, I'm looking at pitchability after 100 pitches. How are the pitches still at the bottom of the zone? How's the contact? You know, how are his quality of pitches to tell me if he's good or bad? And then you kind of rely on Buster a little bit too when he comes back in. You know, Rags might look at Buster and say, how we looking? If he says, you know what, he's probably not got much left, his ball's starting to creep out over, they're going to get guys warmed up. But as strong as Jeff is, 100 pitches for him, he's fine. You can see they're not really getting anybody warmed up down there. Starting to stretch out a little bit.
And another foul. Yeah, I'm right. I agree with you. I just think it ends up being a benchmark as to when a manager at least will think about making a change. But and a lot of it has to do with, you're right, what kind of stuff has the guy got at 100 pitches?
I mean, he's throwing 95 up there still. He's plenty strong still.
Hit out into right center field. And Ruggiano's going to make the catch.
Situation tends to dictate it now. Now, you know, 100 pitches going strong, but if you for a guy at first and second, I need to pull you out. I'm going to pull you out just to pitch the matchups. But I think right now, if nobody's on, he's going hitter to hitter and field to field on Bochy's decision. I think he's going to just try to get him through this inning, if anything.
Here's Baez, who's 0 for 2. And Baez takes a pitch inside. 1 ball and no strikes. And a belt-tied strike to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Belt as the wind pushes it into the seats. Belt was underneath that. So Samardzija with a count of 1-2. Hit out into right field. Ruggiano's got a beat on it. 2 down. And that's an 0 for 3 for Baez. And here's Montgomery. Montgomery batting for the first time. Bounces this one foul. Come on, Cub fans. Have to keep that ball into the seats. No balls and 1 strike.
I'm thinking that ball was heading for Montgomery's fist when he swung. He'd swing at the rosin bag if he threw it up there right now.
Yeah. And that'll end the inning. 8 strikeouts for Samardzija. Giants have some work to do. It's Morris to lead things off. For our unlimited baseball break, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. On this date in 1951 at Scheid Park in Philadelphia, the Say-Hey Kid made his major league debut. He batted third and he played center field. He went 0 for 5 and the Giants beat the Phillies 8-5. He went 0 for 5 and I think he did pretty well after that 0 for 5. Samardzija out. Michael Morris in as he steps up to face Montgomery. And the Giants trail in this one 3-1. And Morris takes a strike on the outside corner. Denard Span to follow. So the line on Samardzija, 1 walk, his first in May, 8 strikeouts. In tight, 2 balls and a strike.
115 pitches, season high. And I thought he looked strong even after that.
Well, I agree with you. If the score was different, I think he could go to 130 easy. 3-1 to Morris. The reason that Montgomery is still in there facing Morris is the Giants have 3 left-handed hitters coming up. And the walk. So it all started with a walk. And here's Span. Span is 1 for 2. And he looks at a strike. Montgomery and Span, they have 1 for 4 history. And that's a double. Span double play ball. And that'll end the inning. Or check that. 2 down. So that'll bring up Panic. Joe Panic is flied out twice and he's bounced out to first. Right now trying to get on for Brandon Belt as the first pitch is wide. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0 to Joe Panic. And Panic with a ball hit into the hole. And they got him. And that'll end the inning. And so it goes for the Giants here on this Thursday afternoon. Braves at AT&T Park. Pregame show will start at 6. Game time top of the hour, and you can see it right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. Available to stream live on NBC Sports app. And if you want to check out Alex Pavlovich, go to NBCSportsBayArea.com. Osich is the new pitcher. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Osich in.
Osich coming in. Lefties, you know, kind of needing to be able to tighten it up a little bit in the bullpen, but O is last few times out has shown a good quality curveball and high velocity fastball, and they're really looking to see which one of the two guys, Oak or Osich, are going to step up and just kind of separate themselves a little bit for Bosch to start using them later in the game.
So here's Zobrist. Zobrist homered in the 6th inning. He doesn't waste any time as he slams one into center field for his 3rd hit. This is a play that ended the inning to take a hit away from Panic.
Great play it was. I mean, taking that angle, getting up, he had to throw the. Panic's not necessarily a slow guy. He had to kind of get up, and he fired that ball to first with everything he had. It was big league play right there from not an everyday big league shortstop.
Here's Schwarber, who struck out 3 times. Samardzija had his number. And here he's tardy, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
It's never been a question of stuff with Osich. It's always been his command that he needs to harness. But his stuff is as good as any left-handed reliever in baseball.
And he's still, when you think about it, he's still pretty young arm-wise because of all the injuries that he's had. He just didn't pitch a lot.
That's right. A little bit of a stiff arm thrower, so it can probably put some strain on some areas that you can see when he goes to throw. It's kind of a stiff straight arm and a stiff upper body, which can cause some stress in some of your joints.
Bryant to follow. It's 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Two and 2 on the 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Here's his motion I was talking about with Osich. He gets real stiff right here. You can see how he kind of gets that. It just has it's just a. His arm is it's just kind of a funky, you know, not a whip. It's just kind of a really, I'm just going to ball up my energy and just come right at you like a bull, you know. And he's got some good power, good strength, strong kid, obviously, throws really hard. But sometimes those stiff guys that throw that hard, they kind of have setbacks with their early injuries. And
well, he's overcome them.
yeah.
Schwarber fouls it back.
But to create that kind of velocity, you have to have arm speed. So it just shows you really, for me, you can see his shoulder really doing a lot of the work, and to see how strong his shoulder, you have to have pretty strong shoulders to be able to throw velocity without the whip that those, you know, young, like their junior over here that pitched yesterday. I mean, he's got that whip at 98, man. It's just like I mean, it is exactly, it's like a whip at the end, just snapping that ball off.
Talking about Carl Edwards Jr.
Yeah, Carl Edwards, yeah. I mean, I call him Junior.
That's all right. 3-2. And Schwarber has the sombrero. Here's Bryant. Bryant 1 for 3. He homered in the first inning. Fouls this one back, and it's 0-1. If Osich can throw strikes, he'll be a guy that can be good for a long time. I mean, assuming that he stays healthy and he keeps his velocity.
Yep.
Because then the manager can trust him. Hit on the ground. It'll be Crawford to Panic to Belt. Not in time. You know, we were talking on the bus driving in here that we talked about some of the injuries the Giants have had, and every team has injuries, but I'll tell you what, the loss of Will Smith really put the team, you know, behind the 8 ball when it came to the bullpen. And who was going to be the left-hander that was going to pitch to get the big outs in the 8th?
Yeah, they put a lot of stock in him. Block was the only other lefty, and he was a long guy for him, and now he's in the rotation. So you're bringing up 2 guys that have the ability to do it, but Will Smith was more the proven guy for the Giants.
Two outs. Swing, you're gonna miss. No balls and 1 strike. Right down the heart, and it's 0-2. Panic in shallow right field. And now Osich will step off. Osich set. And now another toss to first. Bryant does have 4 steals. In the 9th inning for the Giants, they'll have Belt, Posey, Crawford, and hopefully for the Giants many more. Bryant leaning. He does not go. And this is line to left for a base hit. Well, he likes that pitch down, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's just his spot. And 0-2. 1-2 doesn't really matter. He's just trying to protect, and he just takes the low hands and he just throws the barrel right there. I mean, that's, you can see what he does. He doesn't try to do too much, and he's the kind of a hitter that he'll take his singles the other way if you don't give him the pitch to hit. He chokes up on the bat. He just kind of,
I mean, he
keeps the line moving.
Definitely looked like he took the Joey Votto approach right there.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of guys are trying to learn from Joey Votto. The guy's had a pretty good career.
Here's Happ. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Ball and no strikes. Braves lost their game today to the Pirates 9-4, so they are headed as we speak into San Francisco. 2-0. This will be pitch number 18 for Josh Osich. In relief for Jeff Samardzija. Hit slowly to Crawford. Crawford's going to charge, and everybody's safe. That's the hit the Giants can't get.
And not really a possibility of defending either. You're playing back, full on swing, and it just dies right off the bat. And Crawford just didn't have enough time.
So here's Hayward. Hayward is 1 for 3. To the backstop. They got a shot. Nobody there. Here comes Rizzo. He's going to score.
That's a frustrating situation for a guy like Osich and the Giants. And 2 outs, 1 person on, and just some stuff unravels. And Buster tried to turn and toss, and really that wasn't Osich's fault right there. That was just you're trying everything you can to try to flip that ball, and Buster just kind of pushed a little bit outside. Ends up being a wild pitch and an error on Buster.
So 1-0 to Hayward. And a strike. Hayward taps it foul. Get off the top of his body. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cubs did this in the game yesterday where they added on after they had a 2-run lead.
They took advantage of a throw in air by George in the 7th. Throwing wide on that bunt, scored on that. George got out of it, but it's that little add-on, those little numbers that they add on towards the end of the game, given.
So Hayward strikes out, damage done. It's 5-1, and we'll be back. after the ball game for Esurance Giants post game live. Highlights, reaction, analysis. It's all coming up for a full hour after the ball game. 5-1 Chicago. So here's Belt. Belt shoots it on the ground. 1 out. Montgomery's got 1 career save, and that came in Game 7 of the World Series. Here's Buster Posey.
Oh, that's kind of a cool save.
Yeah.
If you're going to have one.
Yeah. Here's the pitch to Buster Posey, who's 0 for 2. And he takes a strike. The Giants will see the Cubs the second week of August at AT&T Park. 1 ball and 1 strike. Right now, the Brewers and the Cardinals. Well, the Brewers are in front of the Cubs and Cardinals, but I have a feeling that by the time the Giants see the Cubs, they'll be in first place, and maybe by 4 or 5 games. And I think they'll probably win this division by 10 games. Posey on the ground to third. 2 outs. And here's Crawford. Crawford picked up a base hit in the 4th. And he shoots this one up the middle. And that's a base hit. And I'm shocked that that ball got through. I am.
Would say that hitter's luck is not on the side of the Giants
Not today.
this afternoon.
Not today. There'll be a game sometime soon where it'll go the other way. Here's Ruggiano, and he takes inside for a ball. Russell at short, Baez at second, Zobrist now in left. And a breaking ball to Ruggiano. Ruggiano is lined out, popped out, and bounced out. Trying to get Mac Williamson to the plate. And this is hit into left field. Is it going to hang up? It is. And that's the ball game. So the Giants win game 1 of this series. And then the Cubs come back and they win the next 3. And all in their own way, very frustrating losses. And this one frustrating, Jeremy, because offensively they did everything right. They just could not catch a break.
They hit the ball hard. That's all you can ask. You can't guarantee where it's going to go. They just hit the ball hard. It seemed like there's Cubs everywhere.
And the Cubs hit the ball hard too, and they hit the ball out of the park. So final score, Cubs 5, Giants 1. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.